All right, guys, what is going on? What is good? What is good, John? Did y'all have a good weekend? Did y'all study? Did you read? Did you backtest? Did you print charts? Did you journal? Did you drop a like on the stream? Like, you know, what did you do, man? Let me know. I want to know. I am curious. I want to know what you did, man, before we get started, before we get into the clear thinking portion of today's stream. G was first, Eberneth slowly, Scott, Julius Capitalist 2020, Nicholas, Jordan D in the chat. What's good, man? Felix, Tordy, H, Laurent, Roberto, went ham on the playlist. Organize my notes. Oh, love to see that. Love to see that. I would love if we could get 413 here in a minute. And then probably 420 after that. We're going to see. Good morning, Roger. Oh, good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon. What's good, Tom? Just came back from Austin. Nice. Did you hit the Painted Porch Bookshop? Did you get a chance to go out there? Either you did or you're getting blocked. Did a random commercial with my dog when I went for a walk. LOL, enjoyed the experience. I don't know what you just said to me right now. But I want to leave it here for just another minute or two. And then we'll get into the presentation. I got a PowerPoint for you today. I got a PowerPoint ready for today. I don't know if y'all are ready for that. Yeah, we'll give it like another 2 to 3 minutes or so before we get into it. Are you ready, G? Are you ready to learn how to think clearly? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? You want to learn how to think clearly? You want to learn how to make better decisions? You did not. Have fun. Good luck to you. Celebrated 2 friends' birthdays this weekend, and you could have celebrated their birthday by grabbing them a book at the bookshop, dog. Come on. You disappoint me almost as much as Cameron. Almost as much as Mason. So, there's that. Thank you, G. I'm glad somebody's ready. I'm glad somebody's ready. At least one person enjoys the lessons. That's cool. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. We should be ready. The Nasdaq, I don't have the computer volume on, so you won't be able to hear it, but I do have an alert set at 413.25 and 437.25. So I will go over this a little bit later after the clear thinking part, but I'm sure you can tell upside pulls nonetheless. That was not asset specific because there was upside on NQ. Well, there still is upside on NQ. And equally so, there is upside on ES as well. So let's go to the regular. So for ES, that would be 7,200.5. Oh yeah, that's why I did not tweet anything asset specific, because that had one and NQ has these highs here in regular trading hours. Also, equities open high, and then some pre-market highs in here. So there you have it. All right, but now we can get into the business. Now we can get into the business. I'm going to leave the trim on there because I want to make sure. What is it called? That we have the rolling thing on there. Got my cafe mocha. Let's get it. You and your mocha. All right, so clear thinking. Chat, clear thinking. Oh, I got the transitions on here today. So one of the biggest inspirations for clear thinking to me was it's really more so been Shane Parrish, a little bit of like Benjamin Franklin and some of the great thinkers throughout history. But the idea of mental models was really popularized by a guy named Charlie Munger, longtime business partner and friend of Warren Buffett. He passed away in 2023. But I read the Kindle version already, and I liked it so much that I had to get a physical copy as well. But can you guys see that? I know the cover's kind of weird, so the camera's going to be tripping out. But Poor Charlie's Almanac, it's not the easiest read. It is a little bit dry, but I will tell you, it's a very good one, and I think you should read it. Okay, so that's that middle one right there, Poor Charlie's Almanac. Now, the other two that I at least want to make you aware of in our presentation is The Great Mental Models by Shane Parrish. He talks about Charlie extensively. That's where he got, the ideas from. Okay, and as well as Clear Thinking. You guys see that? So drop a 3 in the chat if you guys understand. Charlie Munger is the one who popularized like mental models. We won't be going over mental models today, but I at least want to give you guys sources so you can investigate this stuff for yourself. At the end of the day, I can teach you all that I know. But just by listening to me, we don't remember most of what we hear. We remember a lot of what we read when we read actively, and we take notes and review those notes and stuff like that. So there's a lot of work you got to do on your own, but I am going to at least introduce a lot of this information to you. Okay, so Great Mental Models, Poor Charlie's Almanac, and Clear Thinking. This is a great way to start, great place to start. And obviously today's presentation is called Clear Thinking because that was inspired by Shane Parrish, of course. So there's the business. Okay. Okay, it's above the text is above the camera, so we're good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. There's 413. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. I'm gonna edit this out, obviously. But this is live price. And man, that's just beautiful. All right, where were we? To think clearly, we need to learn to see things for what they are, not how we want them to be. You guys understand that? This is a big deal right here, especially in trading. We have to see things for what they are, not how we want them to be. We cannot be in denial about things. Okay? Price action is what it is. It's up to us to then determine, oh, bullish, bearish, low probability, high probability, stuff like that. But even just situational in life, in power, we're getting ready to read the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, right? We have to be able to be open for interpretation. It's almost always better to not have a bias and until you get to the charts and until you can frame something high probability, right? And in life, it's going to be the same thing, where hoping is actually going to blind you to things, okay? You can't ignore evidence. You have to see things for what they are and not what you want them to be. Okay? Check this out. Bad outcomes aren't preventable, but bad decisions are. Okay? Bad outcomes are not preventable, but bad decisions are. You can't avoid losing a trade, but you can avoid making really stupid mistakes. Okay. Let me tell you, a winning trade is not a good trade if you broke your rules in the process. Are you guys taking notes instead of screenshotting? Are you guys taking notes? I'll say this one more time. A winning trade is not a good trade if you broke your rules in the process. Why is that? Because number one, it may incentivize you to break your rules again. And that's going to put you in a bad cycle. It's going to make you think, well, it worked out one time, I could do it again. That's terrible. Number two, good trading is measured beyond P&L. It's measured beyond P&L. So the flip side, right? A winning trade is not a good trade if you broke your rules in the process. A losing trade is not a bad trade if you followed your rules in the process. All right, so drop a 4 if you guys are with me so far. A good or a bad trade is not always dependent upon the outcome. That is only but one measurement. The process needs to be analyzed as well. All right, so without going too far down the rabbit hole, why does bad thinking exist? I was actually going to ask you this before I showed you the slide, but think about it. Why do you think most people cannot think clearly? These are some of the reasons that I came up with. I probably could have made more, but think about it. Bad thinking exists because we have things like fake news. We have things like biased media. You have the left that reports politically stuff on the left. You have the right that only reports stuff politically on the right. Right? That's lopsided media. You have artificial intelligence. There's a lot of videos out there that look real. I just watched this dumbass video. It was a video of Conor McGregor going from the stands onto the NBA court, stealing the ball, and then like dunking it. It was so stupid. It's funny, but it was stupid. And although I can tell mostly like, oh yeah, that's AI, some people can't. And that's a problem. You have emotions. Arguably one of the biggest things, one of the biggest enemies to clear thinking is emotions. Culture. Okay, you can be raised in a culture where bad thinking is like a thing. Robbing, stealing, drinking, going to the club, stuff like that. You might have a culture problem. Your own habits, your fallacies. We'll go over a couple of these. There's a lot of them, but y'all probably should know what fallacies are. It's flawed thinking. Right, Roger? People don't think for themselves. I'm glad you said that, because we're going to get to that in a minute. You have these teenage mentors. You have an 18-year-old, 19-year-old selling courses and stuff. That's its own topic, but that's not good. Even your teachers, parents, friends. Teachers, parents, and friends. Why is that important? Because when you grow up, you're around teachers, parents, and friends. Right? And are any of those people perfect? Are your friends perfect? Are your parents perfect? Are your teachers perfect? Absolutely not. I say this all the time. The teachers literally, it was my math teacher. She was from the north somewhere. She had a heavy accent. But anyway, she told me that we would not have calculators after we left school. You know what I'm saying? That was flawed thinking. That was bad thinking. She was wrong. And how many other instances was I lied to? When you go to college, they're going to want you to be on time. Bro, when I used to go to school, I used to show up like 20, 30 minutes late. Nobody cares. Bad thinking, flawed thinking, bad information. Okay, and that can come from your parents and your friends as well. Complacency. Maybe you like where you're at. You're doing pretty good. You don't want to do better. You don't want to do worse. Bad. Lack of ambition. Terrible. And a lack of further education. thinking you know it all, not wanting to progress, not wanting to know more. These are all enemies of clear thinking. And of course, a failure to self-reflect. If you never take a look at your results, if you never think about where you're at and where where you're from and where you want to go, how are you going to know if your thinking is correct? You know what I'm saying? I tell my mom dumb shit that isn't true all the time and then shout at her when she believes me. Wow, Cameron. Trolling your own mother. Son of the year. All right. So this next segment, we're going to talk about avoiding misjudgments. Avoiding misjudgments. All right, here's one. The tendency to trust the crowd. Well, everybody else is short. I'm going to short. That's a terrible logic, and that usually doesn't work. Everybody wants to go to college and get in debt. Maybe I should do the same thing. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. Well, everyone's out drinking. Let me go drink. Terrible idea. One of the easiest things that you could do to make better decisions and be more successful than most people is simply what the Trade House and I talk about all the time. Observe the masses and do the exact opposite. It's called being a contrarian. And you can literally do well just by doing that, by fading the public. Simple. So the tendency to trust the crowd. The tendency to think a winning streak will continue because of the current winning streak. All right. This. Oh, baby. Look at that. Oh, that's NQ. I'm tripping. Ah, there we go. 7,200.5, baby. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy, baby? Presentation, live price, same time. The juggler. That ain't fucking bad. You go ahead and tweet. Go ahead and send a little tweet out there. A little tweet. A little tweet. All right, sorry. Stay focused. Stay focused. Every trade is unique, chat. Every trade is unique. And you might be on a winning streak. Doesn't mean the next one's going to be a winner. It might feel that way. Okay? It might feel that way. In the same way that it might feel like when you're on a losing streak, that the next trade might be a lose. Well, I've lost 3 times in a row. I might just lose again. That's flawed thinking. That is incorrect. That's incorrect. Because every trade is unique, every trade, the outcome of every trade is random. It's bad to think that any sort of streak will continue forever. All right. The tendency to focus on the outcome and not focus on the process. The more you focus on the P&L, the more you focus on wanting to win or wanting to not lose, or, moving your stop too early and all that type of stuff, you're outcome focused. You're not process focused. And it is much better to focus on the process. That's why we have rules to begin with. Well, the market's doing this. I don't know what to do. Well, you should have a rule for that. If the market's not doing what you think it's going to do, what's the protocol for that? If the market is doing what you thought it was going to do, what's your protocol for that? Take partials, moving stops. What's the deal? We have a process for a reason. So when you're in the middle of a trade and the P&L is fluctuating, you don't know what to do. Stop worrying about the outcome. What does your process tell you to do? That's what you need to do, even if it doesn't feel right. Okay? Here's a big one. Confirmation bias. You probably have heard this before. Oh, damn. My camera is, let me just make myself smaller. Confirmation bias. I'm sure you've heard this before. Searching for evidence that supports your idea while neglecting information that goes against it. This is a massive problem if you do this as a trader. Okay? You have to constantly look at both sides. You can be in a long position, but look at shorts and see, okay, is this high probability or, you know, whatever. And that's how we frame high probability to begin with. Can we frame longs? Can we frame shorts? If we can frame longs, can't frame shorts, that's a high probability long. If we can frame longs, but we can also frame shorts, that's probably not a good trade. That's a lower probability trade. So even when you're in a trade, yeah, you want to see how the candles are printing and what's going on, but you also want to make sure that you're not neglecting contradicting evidence. Teaching while trolling, that's crazy. Impatience, all right? Overweighing the near-term consequences over more favorable but delayed consequences, okay? Delayed consequences. Whenever we do get to feedback loops, we will get to, there's two different like time elements to feedback loops, because some are instant and some are delayed. And so what we do when we practice impatience, because I've practiced a lot of that throughout the years, all right? Remember I talk about how sometimes we trade to like not lose. We're not trading to win. Trading to win is holding those winners, is holding, you know, for more, instead of just TPing now because it feels right. You'll feel good about winning. But if you cut that trade short, you're going to miss out on the rest of it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that is an issue. Even though, yes, it's a winning trade, and it's a winning day or whatever, you're cutting your results. You see what I'm saying? So that is not good. Here's a big one. Self-ambition bias. Crediting success to our skill, but blaming failures on external circumstances, right? Oh, when you win, you know what you're doing. But when you take a loss, it's the market's fault. It's Powell's fault. It's Trump's fault. Stupid. It's your fault whether you win or lose. You're the one who took the trade. It's never the market's fault. It's never the timing's fault. It's never... I mean... Every once in a while, sure, you're going to have a Trump candle or, you know, something like that in the after hours. We saw that a lot this year. But you also know that these are the conditions that we're in. And yeah, slowly, it's definitely my fault. So even if it was technically Trump's fault once or twice, okay, even that one time or two time exception, how many hundreds, how many thousands of trades are you taking over the course of your career? One or two might be, but hundreds, possibly thousands of trades won't be. That, come on. Take responsibility. Okay, so avoid the self-ambition bias. Just because you win, you don't attribute that to skill. Just because you lose, you don't attribute that to anything external. All right. Decision fatigue. Most of you know about this already. But decision fatigue is the tendency to make lower quality decisions the more that we make them. All right. This is usually why good things don't happen after midnight, especially when there's alcohol involved. People are tired. Their decision making is not great because we use our brain power, right? We use our mental capital. And the more that we use, the worse that it gets. So think of it like a very slow and steady decline, but then I'm telling you, like late in the evening, and the more decisions that you make, now it's going to be exponentially worse. So just beware of decision fatigue. Okay. I've seen traders make 50, 60 trades in a day. Yeah, okay. Making that many decisions, there's no way you're thinking that stuff through. And there's no way you're going to keep making good decisions after 50, 60 trades. It's just not, I just don't see that. All right, so next up are 9 ways to think clearly. You guys ready? Drop a 9 in the chat. Here are 9 ways to think clearly. Drop a 9 if y'all are ready to go. And at the end, if you remind me, I'll share a couple more books with you guys if you'd like. I have 2 more on my desk. There's 1 more that I'm thinking of that I forgot to put here. G's ready? Okay. Number 1, learn to think for yourself. Okay? Learn to think for yourself. Come to your own conclusions instead of relying on someone to give you their opinion. Ask questions, look for answers, and like I said earlier, be open for whatever you may find. Okay? This is actually one of the things behind the scientific method, right? You have your hypothesis and then you do your testing or whatever, and you do testing and testing and testing to see if what you think is true, and you're basing that truth, right, if it is true or not, off of those results. If the results are mixed, then that may not be true. But you can't, like we said earlier, the confirmation bias, you can't just sweep under the rug when it didn't work and only say, okay, these are the times when it did work, so it must be this. That's not always the case. Okay. I got this from John Maxwell. What's popular may not be right, and what's right may not be popular. So at the end of the day, like, even though I'm your mentor, for example, and I actually sent out an idea earlier today for Stoic Society. Said, hey, higher Nasdaq. And yeah, there were buying opportunities. And then I also shared an update right before we got to the highs. Hey, we might get to these highs, right? But even if you don't agree with that, you don't have to long, right? Learn to think for yourself. Number 2, go beyond the surface. Details and context matter. You see a lot of this in like political debates. People lack context. Well, Trump said this, Trump said that, or the markets did this, the markets sold off because of that. Context. Uh-oh. Is that another alert, baby boy? 437. 437. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy, baby? Oof. Learn to fucking think for yourself, chat. Because this is the results, baby. This is the results. Man, I love this shit. I don't think I've been wrong a fucking time since we started this series. Sorry, ego's the enemy. I'll tell you that in a minute too. Let me go back to it. Sorry. Winning is very exciting. Don't be satisfied with getting the gist of things. Marcus Aurelius, we just read that. We just read that last month in Meditations. Things aren't always as they seem. This is a huge one. Okay, I learned this early in life, but it was also solidified when I learned this from Robert Greene as well. In the 48 Laws of Power, looks can be deceiving. I think it was J. Cole that said, everything that glitters ain't gold, right? Same idea. Everything is not always what it seems. Oh, the conditions are bad. The conditions are bad. But I'm out here calling price moves still in advance. Come on, baby. What are you talking about? That's these people, not to talk shit, but these people have a limited view of the marketplace. They do not understand conditions. They don't understand like levels of liquidity, for example. And because they don't understand that, they're going to judge based off of information they don't have. That's flawed thinking. Why can I always be precise in shitty conditions? Explain that. It ain't the conditions. It ain't the conditions. Okay? Number 3. We learned this from Epictetus. Put your impressions to the test. Put your impressions to the test. Emotions often cloud good thinking and good judgment. Pause before you react. And use that space of time to carefully consider your next move. Sorry, I forgot to tweet earlier. I didn't have that ready to go because I'm presenting here. Pause before you react and use that space of time to carefully consider your next move. Okay? When you're in a trade, I don't know how impatient you can be. I know how impatient I can be. But if you're trading off of like a 15-minute time frame, a 5-minute time frame, bro, you do not need to make a decision in the next 10 seconds. Okay? You can pause for a minute or two, read your trade plan, take a look. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to act right away. Okay? Pause. Pause before you react. Here's a big one too. We also learned this from Epictetus. We don't control what happens to us. Spelling mistake, always got to have one. But we do control how we respond to what happens to us. The dichotomy of control. Okay? We don't control what the market does, but we control where we put our orders and all that type of stuff. Okay, so there's your first 3. Are you getting value today, G? We got 6 more to go. Are you guys getting value? Drop a... I don't know what number we're on. Drop a 1 in the chat. We'll go back to 1. Drop a 1 if you guys got some value so far. Learn to think for yourself. Put your impressions to the test. Number 4. Beware your defaults. Beware your defaults. Our current habits may not be serving us well. Stuff like being quick to anger, procrastinating. The worst of the worst, in my opinion, is the victim mentality. Doom scrolling, cursing, or using filler words in everyday speech, texting and driving, etc., etc. These are some more enemies of clear thinking. Doom scrolling, wrecking your attention span. If you don't have the attention span, you can't focus. If you can't focus on a subject long enough, you won't be able to get depth. If you can't have depth, you won't think well. If you don't think well, you'll make bad decisions. And if you make bad decisions, you're going to have bad results. So that's how that's all connected. Okay? It doesn't take a genius to understand that. So beware your defaults. Beware your current habits. Number 5. Beware your biases. We talked about a couple of them earlier. Here's a couple more. Appeal to authority. Trusting someone else just because of their title or just because of their status. All right? Another lesson from John Maxwell, the 5 levels of leadership. The lowest level, right? I think it either goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But anyway, the lowest level of leadership is position. It's a title. You know what I'm saying? And appealing to authority, trusting them just because they have that title or that status, that's technically a fallacy. Now, you might trust me if I tell you the market's bullish. You might. Shit. But that doesn't mean you should. You shouldn't take my word for it just because I say it. Okay? And that goes for anybody else. All right? Status quo, trusting something because it's always been done that way. The military's notorious for this. Something could have always been done wrong too. You do know that? You do know that? For like up until about 500 years ago, we used to deliver babies without washing our hands. We actually had copper door handles on all the doors. We did not know at the time, we did not know that copper was a great place for bacteria to be stored. We did not know that we had, what's that shit called? Like really small microorganisms that were on our skin. And because we were delivering babies after touching these handles, getting bacteria all over our hands, not washing them, and then delivering babies, right? Touching the women and the newborns with dirty ass hands. And a lot of women died because of that. And about 100 years after, I forget the guy's name, you could look that up. But after about 100 years, they finally had the science to figure that shit out. And they said, oh, this guy was right. We got to start washing our hands. So all the doctors and nurses started washing their hands before the procedures. And the percentage of women that died giving birth dropped like, I don't know, 80, 90%. So just because the last 1,500 years we delivered babies without washing hands doesn't mean we should keep continuing to do that. Okay? So always challenge the status quo, because most things are not done correct. Most things are not optimized. Okay? And overconfidence, believing you are better than you actually are. Trust me, I have to remind myself of this all the time. Okay? And yeah, I can, deliver stuff like this for you. And even tweet about it for you. Upside nonetheless. Retracement after the V-shaped reversal. Bang, bang. Right? But just because I do that for you all the time doesn't mean that the next one is guaranteed. Okay? And I can't let, winning go to my head. Ignis Semmelweis in 1847. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Sounds correct. All right, number 6, beware your surroundings. We become like those whom we spend the most time with. Choose wisely. I can't remember if that was Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar. Might have been Jim Rohn, but whoever you spend time with, that's who you become like. Filter your information diet. We talk about this all the time. What are you consuming? Not like just with what you eat, but your information diet. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you listening to? What type of information are you taking in? Rule of 5 in psychology classes to mention this. Well, yeah, because it's been proven. It's been proven. Birds of a feather flock together. So, if you hang around people who cuss a lot, you're going to start cussing, believe me. All right? You're around people who smoke cigars a lot, you're going to start smoking cigars. But it's the same way with good habits as well. You hang around people who know how to trade, you're going to learn how to trade. And everything else. Okay? Here's a really big key. I don't want you guys to miss this. I don't want you to miss any of it, but I wrote all this stuff out for a reason. Watch this. Prime your environment for clear thinking. Prime your environment. I smoke cigars too, so it's fine. Use a checklist. Use mental models. Trading models. I've given you God knows how many of those. Quotes. Bible verses, etc. Okay? Prime your environment. Slowly, since we're on the topic. Well, I know my camera's a little bit lowered, but look. I got 2 cigars right here. I don't got nothing against cigars. I mean, if you I knew a guy who smoked a cigar every day. Every day. That was 12 years ago. 11, 12 years ago. I don't know where he's at now, but if I had to guess, wouldn't be in a good place. But prime your environment. That's the whole point, okay? Use a checklist, use mental models, trading models, quotes. You can post Bible verses up places. You can put books up on the wall, or on the wall. Put books up nearby so you get reminded of these things, okay? Reminders to not be an idiot. I have a statue of an owl because the owl represents wisdom. So when I see it, it's like, oh, I should practice wisdom. Don't be an idiot. It's priming the environment. Number 7, study good thinkers. Assemble your board of directors, your mentors, basically. Learn from people who have accomplishments, people who know what they're doing, people who have done things. Okay? They can give you good advice. Here's a huge one too. The book of Proverbs, the book of Ecclesiastes. You have biography books. We have Seneca's Letters. I believe that's December of this year. Discourses of Epictetus. I think that's one of the books in the second half of the year. Poor Charlie's Almanac. I just showed you that one a minute ago and at the beginning. These are all good places to learn good stuff. You guys with me so far? Drop a 2 if you guys are still here. This is number 7. We got 2 more to go. And then there's a couple more slides after that. We always get like the most people at the very end too. Which is late for the content, but at least you'll be here for the conclusion and the final thoughts. So I guess it's better than nothing. All right. Thank you guys for dropping the 2s and letting me know that you're here. Number 8 on how to think clearly. Mind and body. I said this very recently. The mind and the body are connected. Duh. I mean, we're one body. We have 3 parts: mind, body, and soul. Okay? Church on Sundays is for the soul. Okay? Mind and body, you can get here. Mostly mind. Mostly trading. Okay? Take care of your body to take care of your mind. You ever noticed? Matter of fact, let's just do this for a minute. I want you to think about some people that you know, and don't be mean, and don't put it in the chat, but just think about people that you know that are stupid. They're just stupid. They consistently make terrible decisions. And that was probably me too at one point. I used to make bad decisions. Trust me. And sometimes I still make bad decisions too. But I'm saying, like, do you know somebody in the back of your mind that consistently makes really stupid mistakes over and over and over again? And the majority of the time, they're either going to be overweight or they eat like shit. Okay? Hot Cheetos for breakfast. Mountain Dew and Doritos for dinner. I've done it. That's the gamer fuel. You don't know anything about that. But we'll keep moving. They are not healthy people. They consume garbage. Not just in their mind, like the doom scrolling. That's definitely part of it. But what they're consuming as well. Drinking beer all the time. Just eating terrible shit all day. All the time. Right. And now they don't make good decisions. They continue to eat and consume garbage. And then they act like garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. My dad used to tell me when I was a kid. I didn't understand what he was saying. But now I do. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay? Hydration. Not paid sponsorship. Icelandic, baby. Y'all already know. Glass water around here. Y'all already know. Activities that move the body. Take a walk. Go to the gym. Fresh air, sunlight, etc. Avoid excessive junk food, microplastics, glyphosate. We won't be talking about that today, but look up glyphosate, and that's a whole new rabbit hole. And you'll easily be on the healthy train if you go look up what this shit is. I don't understand how some people can eat McDonald's every day because their body gets used to it. Their body gets used to it. I used to eat that stuff too. Dude, one time I went to Taco Bell like 3 days. 3 times in like one day. But I was young. I was like 18, 19. I was killing it. But I can't eat that stuff anymore. I had a Costco hot dog like 2 weeks ago. I couldn't even leave the facility without, I had to hit the bathroom, bro. It was terrible. Shit messed me up, man. not I know that's like TMI, but like, dude, I'm telling you, because like the Costco hot dog, we don't know what's in that shit. And my body was like, bro, what is this? What is this? It was not good. Okay? It was not good. Junk food is cool every once in a while. It's fine. But excessive junk food, that's where the issue is. Don't drink so many energy. How about you don't drink so many energy drinks, Eberneth? How about that? How about that? Don't talk about my energy drinks. Leave my energy drinks out of this conversation. Tell me what to do. Fucking tell you what to do. Number 9. Number 9, pursue the right goals. Happiness isn't found in money, status, or title. The right goals make the world a better place, affect many people, and don't involve taking advantage of others. It is hard to think clearly when you're doing the wrong stuff. You understand? If you know what you're doing is wrong, you're going to have a hard time thinking clearly. And it's going to be very confusing. Because you're not where you're supposed to be. You're in a bad environment. We talked about that earlier. So, those are the 9 things that will help you become a clear thinker. We got a little bit more for you. Got a little bit more juice for you. Don't worry. We're at our 1 p.m. macro. I don't know where price is at. Clear thinking and trading. You ready? It's just 2 slides. It's this one and one more. Anything can happen, so always manage risk, no matter what. Stack probabilities in a one-sided market and stay out when you can't find an edge. We're looking for an edge. You can have just one model, I guess, but an edge can be found with more than just one model. Thinking probabilities, not absolutes. That's Mark Douglas. Trading in the zone, disciplined trader. Those are another 2 bangers. Said remind me if I forgot, but I didn't forget. Okay. Disciplined trader. Trading in the zone. See these? These are must-haves. If you have not read Trading in the Zone, if you have not read The Disciplined Trader, you're wrong. I'll put it to you that way. Okay? You're wrong. Learn from mistakes. Don't avoid them. Don't shy away from them. Okay? If you did something stupid, just own up to it. Own up to it. If you over leverage, just own up to it. If you over traded, just own up to it, admit it, and learn from it. Don't hide it. A mistake doesn't go away just because it's you know, you don't want to look at it. That's not good. Okay? Taking a loss doesn't mean you're a bad trader. It's a part of the process, and it happens. Every trade man, I'm tired. Every trade is entirely unique, so don't bring previous wins or losses with you. Every trade is unique. You can take 3 losses in a row and take a banger trade and get all 3 of those losses plus more back. Okay? It can happen. Patience pays. Patience pays. Multi-time frame analysis. Remember, the map is not the territory. When you have just one time frame, that's not the full scope. That's not the full scope. We can talk a little bit more about that if you guys want when we get back to the charts. And ego is the enemy. Okay? Ego is the enemy. So, if you're going to have an ego, at least wait till the trade is over. Okay? At least wait till the trade is over. If the trade's over, you took profit, you took partials, you're break even, whatever. All right. Maybe you can let off a little steam. You know, if you're going to have it, at least don't let it wreck your analysis. Okay? If it's the weekend, do whatever you want. You're not in a trade, cool. I don't think it's a good habit, but again, if you're gonna be a douchebag, at least don't let it affect your trades. But I would still try to get rid of it. Okay? So I think there's a conclusion slot. Yeah, this is the last one, and then that's it. Okay, so here's the conclusion for episode 3, right? Core mindset concepts, episode 3, clear thinking. Bad results are not preventable, but bad decisions are. You want to see things for what they are, not how you want them to be, not how you wish they could be. Avoid common biases that cloud judgment. Become an independent thinker. Go beyond the surface, because appearances can be deceiving, most often are. Look past your initial emotions for facts and data. You can be angry, not flip somebody off. You can be nervous, but not close a trade. Okay? Prime your surroundings for good thinking. Use checklists. Use a checklist. Don't try to remember everything. Take care of your body and take care of your mind. All right, so with that, you adhere to these things and you will learn how to think clearly and you will learn how to make better decisions. So if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on the stream. Stop the recording. I got a lot of editing to do later. Did you guys find value in it? Did you guys learn something or at least get a refresher on something that makes sense? Does it make sense, chat? What's the high on that? 39.75. What a scam. What a scam. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Man. Whoever this guy is, he knows what he's talking about. He definitely knows what he's talking about. Okay. I'm trying to clip this for social media, though. Okay. Clear thinking is over. So I'll give you a little bit, and then we'll shut it down. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. Think about the phases of price. Thank you, Nicholas. Think about the phases of price. What do we have here? What do we have? It's not the greatest, but right here is expansion lower met with expansion higher. That is a V-shaped reversal. Okay? That is a V-shaped reversal. That is also taking out what? The low. Thank you, Akil. That right there is 845. What does that tell you? Well, 8:30 to 9 o'clock, the highest high is right there. The lowest low is right there. So that right there is equities open liquidity. See that? So what do? We get a V-shaped reversal at equities open liquidity. And for the doubly, we have this imbalance right here. Okay? This is all Sunday. So why would that work here? Why do you think that would work here? Because one of you asked about this the other day. Why would it work? Because although we have already done business there in the electronic side, we have not done that in regular trading hours. So regular trading hours still has that gap right there. Sorry, imbalance right here. This is Sunday's gap. That lower low here, the V-shaped reversal at equities open low, and trading into that imbalance from Friday. With, what's up here? What's up there? What's right there? Staring at you in the face. Staring at everybody in the face. Saying, hello, I'm chilling. I actually thought we were going to get that right here at 9:35. I was like, oh, we should trade above there. The market's like, oh, okay, John, I see you. We're not going to do that. Went lower instead. Fine by me. But Roger, yes, those are still low resistant highs. Right. So what always sets the low? Manipulation. How do we know that's manipulation? Because that's equities open liquidity. On top of that, if we go over to NQ, did NQ do the same thing? There's that 850 low. Okay, 850. Oh, that's weird, right? Weird time to make a low. 1020, we are actually higher. We have a higher low. What did I tell you? I gave you two formulas. Well, let me rephrase. In the phases of price, I gave you two formulas. Yes. When it came to the reversal, the V-shaped reversal or the A-shaped reversal, retracement expansion, I gave you another formula too. That was this. Go back to your notes. Go back to the old live streams. I gave this to you. V-shaped reversal. No, that's not manipulation. That's accumulation. Let's go back. ES, lower, manipulation. NQ, higher. What have I told you about the divergence? The retracements after the divergence are good buying opportunities. Look at it. Look at this. Right? Look, muddy, but upside pulls nonetheless. Upside pulls. Does that mean lower? No. Does that mean sideways? No. Upside means higher. Higher. That's a bias. Expansion, retracement, expansion. Well, technically, yes, but it's the V-shaped reversal. And yes, the right side of the V, sure. Like it being here. The expansion lower met with expansion higher. Yeah, that is more like a... It's more like a Nike swoosh shape reversal. Just doesn't sound as great, though. It's the retracement after the divergence. So V-shaped reversal, retracement. What can we anticipate? I gave you upside pulls. We have one right there, and we have another one up here. Bang, bang. Probabilities. One-sided markets, folks. One-sided markets. And if you're part of Stoic Society, I fucking gave it to you. Matter of fact, actually, I do need to update that idea as well. Give me a second here. I mean, I'm going to do that after the stream, of course, but okay. This was... Ooh, that's really zoomed in there. Can you guys see that? Well, barely. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Okay. This was at 847 and this was at 339. And it was right after taking this low. Okay. But what I'm pointing to is 27,542. I'm pointing way up here. Way up there. But if you look closely, it doesn't take a genius to see those highs right there too. You remember the other day we talked about low-hanging fruit? When you walk through the valley of, not the shadow of death, but when you walk through the valley of the orange trees or the apple trees and you're hungry, you just want, give me an apple, give me an apple. You're not going to crawl up the tree and grab the one on the top. You're not doing that. You're going to grab the low-hanging fruit. Provided it's not like beat up and moldy, right? That right there is the low-hanging fruit. And we definitely can't get up here without getting there first. So one of the easiest objectives is going to be right here. So that was at 339. The price of 339, that was at the time of 847. Okay. So 847 is right here. Okay. So we went lower a little bit further. No problem. No issue. I wasn't really trying to pick the low. Okay. I was trying to give you upside. Sorry, way up here. I was trying to give you the upside well in advance. Okay. Now at 847, at the time, this had not been created yet. So the market went a little bit lower. No problem. Went up, made that an equal high, and then traded lower. We got a whole lot of gobbledygook. We got barcode. Not an issue. A lot of people don't like these conditions. I get it. I don't like them either. But this is why you have to wait for more information. Then we got our divergence. Then we got our V-shaped reversal. Then we got our retracement. So what can you anticipate? Well, what do you see? What else do you see here, chat? What else do you see? Down candle here. That's technically a down close candle. And then this one too. So those three together, what are we doing right here? What are we doing at 1035? Shift in the state of delivery. Change in the state of delivery. Algorithmic principles. It ain't fucking supply and demand. Okay? We continue. We actually trade into it right here, but we continue. And then we get a slow, right? Watch this. We get a fast move higher. We get a slow move lower. That's exactly what you want a retracement to be. It ain't shallow. I mean, excuse me. It's not a deep retracement. It's a shallow retracement. It can't even meet halfway. From this low up to this high, it can't even meet. It can barely go halfway at all. And look at all these wicks in here. Okay. More supply and demand shit with John Fib. Look at this. Look at all the bodies there. Are there bodies in that? Nope. Are there bodies there? Nope. The bodies are respecting that series of down candles. Okay. Now watch this shit. Sorry. I'm excited. I know you've been watching this whole time, but I'm saying, like, really, really, really pay attention here. What did I teach you the other day? What model did we go through the other day? What was it? Was it the shift in the state delivery model? Nope. Was it the Judas model? Nope. Who remembers? Close, G, but no. What model did we go over the other day? The propulsion model. The propulsion model. Okay. Down candles here, right? We get a retracement into them and then off of it. Right. What else you see? These two down candles right there. Bang! Look at that. Look at that right there. Price turning on a dime. Price turning on a dime. You see any indicators on my chart? Nope. Just lines and boxes, baby. And the occasional circle. And the occasional tweet. But yeah, I tweeted that right in here. Upside. Pools. Then retracement. Then expansion. Then propulsion. So you had a shift in state delivery model. You have... there might be an inversion model, honestly. Yep, right there. Beautiful. Inversion model, easy. Shift in the state delivery model. Propulsion model. I would not consider this a market maker buy model, but it delivers like one. Like if this was the original consolidation, this was the manipulation. Technically, this would be the low risk buy. And then first leg, second leg. You see how that works? You already know the inversion model. You already know the shift in the state of delivery model. Go watch that video I did. Free beginners trading strategy or some shit like that. Easy. That's there too. Propulsion right there at 11:20. Propulsion. And then right in here, 11:50. We don't get the run inside. I got too many drawings on here, Chad. It's your fault. It's your fault. 12:10 is here. So outside the macro time, that's when we got our first run above there. And then we saw a retracement. We were already back on the PowerPoint by this point. And then during that PowerPoint, we continued higher. And then at 12:34, we got a new high. So you see how this works, guys? Like, for real, be fucking on. Tell me, do you see how this stuff works? V-shaped reversal, retracement expansion. It happens like that. It cannot be any different. It can't be V-shaped reversal and then A-shaped reversal. That doesn't work. That doesn't do that. The first retracement after a divergence, technically that's this one right here. Right here. Technically it's that one. But if you didn't trade that one, you can still trade the later one. This is disgusting. This is nasty stuff, I'm telling you. This is brutal. Why do you think I can tell you, hey, we've got upside here? And then we get upside, bro. Crazy. Crazy. These are Nasdaq futures we're talking about here. And I have zero influence over price at all. I have no bearing on what price is going to do. Market makers and the algorithm, they're not going to call me and say, hey, John, Fib, what the fuck do you think? That's not what we're doing. I have zero influence on price. But yet, we are seeing these same things pan out over and over and over again. And if you learn this stuff, this is how you're going to take good trades. Okay? So, the last thing I'll give you is this. The last thing I'm going to give you is this. I did not fully exit here. In the event, and it's already 1 o'clock, we might not do it. But in the event that this was the low risk buy of the entire thing, we may end up being bullish here still. Original consolidation, distribution. Wait a minute. Original consolidation, we trade lower, we get a retracement, we get distribution, and then redistribution, manipulation here. So after the manipulation is the low risk buy, and then technically this would be the first stage of accumulation, and then we may get a second leg to go higher there. So it's fractal. Market maker models are fractal, just like price. I mean, price. Market maker models are, yeah, just like price. 1 minute, 5 minute, hourly, daily, they all do the same things. Okay? And you can have a very short term buy model just in here. I know the color scheme is wild today. I'm trying to give you some juice here. This alone on a small time frame can be a market maker buy model, and that can be a terminus for you. But if you're thinking, well, shit, we may end up being part of a larger buy model, then you can hold a potential contract or two to see if we end up getting a new high here or original consolidation up here. So with that, that's going to be it. So hopefully you guys learned something today. I really wanted to go over clear thinking, but I didn't want to leave you without some price action stuff too. Okay. I just didn't want to do it. I don't feel right. It doesn't feel right leaving you with nothing chart related. It feels awkward. You know, it just doesn't feels like something's missing. You know what I mean? So very similar story for ES. If this is an original consolidation, we trade lower, then distribution. God, this redistribution was short-term manipulation to go lower. So it would be manipulation, low risk buy, first leg, and then this is probably our second leg to go up here, which would also be in alignment with higher NQ. But look at this. Look how NQ is so far behind from its high, where ES is like pretty much like 5 points, 6 points away. ES is stronger here. So that would make sense though. You guys get me? And that's all we're doing. Yeah, I'll close it with this. That's all that we're doing. We're looking for high probability pools of liquidity, right? We want to trade in the direction of opposing liquidity. That means have the patience to wait for manipulation. And then the lows will also give you clues, especially when we do stuff like this. A lower ES with a higher NQ. Oh man, right after that or a couple retracements after that, you're going to take easy trades, dude. Easy. Gold looks like shit. Don't ask me about gold. Gold looks like ass. This is terrible. Regular trading hours for gold. We do have a low from Thursday, which hasn't been met. If you're asking me, I wouldn't trade this. This is terrible. Because in my mind, we're in between a pool here and a pool up here, and we're right in between the two. This sucks. So this, it has me thinking that we're probably going to trade lower. Grab the short-term lows, grab Thursday's low, and then whoop-de-whoop up here into this gap and those short-term highs here. I could see something like that. But I don't know. It just seems forced, you know? It just seems forced. And I don't like it. Although this may happen, and that's what I think could happen, I would not put money on that. Not me. I'm not putting money on that. So, with that, y'all be good. Be blessed. We'll be here same time, same place on Tuesday, the 28th tomorrow. So, either we're going to do mental models or feedback loops. I can't remember. We'll push that to Wednesday. All right, so the next lesson will be on, we'll still be here tomorrow, but the next like core lesson is going to be on Wednesday. All right, so make good decisions. And I'll see you tomorrow.
last time that I saw your pretty face? 1,000 lies have made me cold.